Ryan, Valentine's Day weekend is upon us. Well, at least it's upon me. I don't know if it's upon you.
No, we celebrate Muppet Day.
You celebrate Muppet Day.
Yeah.
I see. No, I celebrate Valentine's Day because I have a wife. But speaking of which, Valentine's Day is useful for two things in America. One is selling a buttload of greeting cards and candy. And the other one is for a flood of romantic comedies to hit theaters. And guess what? 2022 is no exception. We have two romantic comedies coming out tomorrow or today, depending on when you listen to this. This Friday before Monday's Valentine's Day. They're romantic comedies, so you kind of know where we're going here. But they're markedly different romantic comedies. So we're going to actually start with the bigger of the two. I say bigger of the two. The one with the bigger stars in it.
The queen of romantic comedies.
I thought that was
not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay, so apparently the new queen of romantic comedies is Jennifer Lopez, and Owen Wilson in "Marry Me." Shockingly, Jennifer Lopez makes a bold, creative decision here and is playing a pop star. Mm-hmm. Who is going to get married to another pop star with whom she does a duet called "Marry Me." But she finds out on the verge of marrying him on stage in the middle of a concert in New York that he cheated on her with her assistant.
Yeah.
And
the video goes viral.
The video goes viral as she's going up on stage.
Yeah.
So in what can only be described as a moment of sheer insanity, she picks Owen Wilson out of the crowd who didn't even want to be there. But he's there with his friend, coworker, and his daughter, who are fans of Kat Valdez, played by Jennifer Lopez. And he's holding a sign that says "Marry Me" because there are signs that say "Marry Me" because of the song and the audience. And she says, "Yes, I will marry you." And for some reason, that is never really quite explained, he says okay. As a single father, he decides he's going to go ahead and allow this woman to marry him on stage in the middle of a concert and in the middle of what is apparently a nervous breakdown.
Yes.
And then we're treated to we'll use the word formulaic, city mouse, country mouse relationship, where everyone wants her to just cut him a check and kick him to the curb and say, "I went insane and this is done." Or she somehow thinks that by staying with him, she's going to be less of a laughingstock somehow. But yes, so we get a whole city mouse, country mouse action going on where he's exposed to a world beyond his borders and she's exposed to a much smaller world than the one she is used to. Ryan, how do you feel about romantic comedies, even one with the queen of romantic comedies?
I don't dislike them necessarily.
Not necessarily, only appropriately.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, look. On a film critique, criticism, historical perspective,
yes,
they really don't serve much purpose. Usually,
right?
They are the sugary filler. Occasionally, occasionally you'll find one that does more than just whatever. Who knows? But I'm okay with them. I did grow up watching Meg Ryan movies,
right?
So obviously I'm not too snooty about it.
Well, you also lived through the Katherine Heigl heyday of comedies.
Yeah, and that was a very dark time in my life. Yeah, that might have almost ruined the entire, particularly the one with Gerard Butler. Anyway, I don't remember. Yeah, I just have nightmares about that you've just brought back trauma.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah. And no, but I mean, generally speaking, I'm okay with romantic comedies. I know the purpose that they serve, and sometimes you get one that's a lot of fun and really good, and lots of times you get ones that are really generic, and then a lot of time you get stuff that's garbage as well. But
yeah,
that's
fair. This one actually, one can argue that this one addresses some fairly relevant subject matter.
Sure.
Mental health, specifically hers. Media management, like social media and media management, which affects everyone. If you use social media, it's learning how it works and how not to be a slave to it. And media management in general, how celebrities are packaged and guided and used and whatnot. You see a lot of that here. We also learned that relationships are hard in this film. I never would have known that relationships are very difficult. And it's not without some fun moments, I guess.
No, yeah, no, I'm gonna say that I think that for what this film wants to be, it's which is it's a fantasy, obviously. It's a silly fantasy, and for what it is, it's definitely not bad. If that makes
I've definitely seen worse romantic comedies.
It's pretty well directed. Jennifer Lopez actually does have, she can act. She's not just a singer who's acting.
Right.
She actually can act. She's
she's not Madonna. Is that what you're saying?
Well, nobody's Madonna, and sometimes that's a good thing.
True.
But it's not. This is not A Star Is Born. This is not trying to be really say anything more than, hey, here's a kind of a fun fairy tale of sorts, a modern fairy tale about the commoner who ends up with the princess,
right.
And I mean, but it's not, it's got a nice cast. It's the music numbers are well produced. It actually has songs in there that, even though I don't know that I'm a particular fan of them, but I could see actually being hit songs.
Yes.
Which often you'll get a movie that has the big hit and you're like, that song is not gonna do that. But this one, actually has songs that I could see being hits and not just the fantasy little world. And I think so. Generally, if it's appealing to you at all, I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. Speaking of the cast, let's not just J-Lo and Owen Wilson.
No, we got
Sarah Silverman is his like only friend.
Yeah.
Who also works at the school that he teaches at. And Chloe Coleman is his daughter. Yeah. If you don't know the name, you know her from she was the little girl in Gunpowder Milkshake and My Spy with Dave Bautista, which is not the best movie, but she's great.
She's going to be just fine. Yeah, she's going to do just fine.
And I actually, I mentioned to you after the film that I got more emotional about her storyline than I did Owen Wilson and J-Lo.
Well,
I didn't because it's a rom-com and I know where they're going to end up.
Well, and she's got more to lose, which is really in this.
Which is situation. Weird to say for what, a 9 or.
But she does,
or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, she's got more, more to lose. Which, yeah, I mean, she's not the one getting married, but I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of weird how that works, but she definitely has more to lose than Owen Wilson, who can just kind of return to life as it was and be fine.
Yeah,
to a certain extent. Whereas it would be far more devastating for the daughter,
right?
If things don't work out.
Yep. And of course, it also has John Bradley as J-Lo's kind of put upon manager.
Yeah.
And this is the second film in like 2 weeks.
Yes.
With John Bradley. He was also a major player in Moonfall. And I posited on Twitter, I wonder which film he thought was going to be bigger when he signed on to do these two. Because I know which one is going to make more money.
Well, it's funny because, well, we'll see. I mean, it's Super Bowl Sunday weekend. So, but yeah, maybe, I mean, the numbers are going to be interesting to look at. I don't know that you can say that this
Monday's
film
numbers will be weirder.
Yeah,
because husbands will either have to take their, or guys will either have to take their significant others Friday or Saturday because of Super Bowl Sunday, or they will have to go on Monday, which is actually Valentine's Day, to make up for the fact that all their buddies were over for the Super Bowl party.
Yeah,
that is an interesting take on how the box office numbers for this film will fall. That I hadn't broken it down like that until just now, but that is an excellent thing. We're gonna you have to look like the Tuesday returns and see where we're at.
Yeah. So and the other thing is I think that Death on the Nile would probably be more of a middle ground film,
right?
That would appease both the male and female, or or male and
both
male,
halves of the couple,
whatever the couple may be, assuming they have, one is more in love with the rom-coms and the other is not. I think you could settle on Death on the Nile. So we'll see. I don't know. Anyhow, but there's also another option.
There is another option.
Staying at home.
That is true. That is an option. But yeah, so no, Marry Me is not. It's not terrible. I mean,
it's fine,
guys. You won't burst into flames if you actually go to the theater.
Well, you might, but
only maybe if you're like a really evil guy, you might burst into flames. You might just smolder a little. But there is another rom-com option if you want something with a little more edge to it.
Yeah.
And that one is called I Want You Back, which again, rom-com, a little edgier. Charlie Day and Jenny Slate play two people who have been dumped by their respective significant others, and who meet by chance in the stairwell at the building in which they both work.
They're both crying. Yeah, they're both crying.
And they after a couple of shoulder cries and drunken karaoke sessions, and I don't know why drunken karaoke is now a thing in film, but it was in Shang-Chi as well. They decide that they can help each other get the loves of their lives back by breaking up their new relationships and making them realize. So I called this is the Strangers on a Train rom-com, where the two people meet and they decide they can solve each other's problems for them in not necessarily nice ways, although nobody dies in this film. Jenny Slate decides she's going to seduce Charlie Day's ex's new guy and send her running back to the nice guy, and he is going to befriend her ex and make him realize that he wants the nice, steady Jenny Slate instead of the pie shop owner lady who he is with now. So it again it's a rom-com, so there's you know how people are going to end up, but the trip in this one is way more bumpy in a lot of ways, and a way more convoluted, and a little raunchier. This one's rated R.
This is rated R.
Marry Me is rated PG-13, so that should tell you right there.
It's actually dramatically raunchier if you really want to go that way.
It is. Yeah,
but with that said, it's not like nudity and lots of sex necessarily.
No.
So but it's more raunchy language.
Yes,
They say saucy things.
they say lots of saucy things, and if you listen to the podcast, you know I don't care. But yeah, it's rated R for a reason.
Even the kids in this movie.
Oh, they're smart. And I don't mean intelligent. I just mean smart.
And they even the kids. This is even the kids in this movie. The kids alone make it an R-rated movie. So.
Yeah, they really do. But it's this one is also has music and not just drunken karaoke. We get a production of Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes,
which is great.
It is actually. It is great.
It is great.
I didn't know it was something I wanted,
but now you do.
Well, now that I have it, yeah.
Now you want the whole.
I don't know.
Whole production.
I don't know. I think the whole production would be really creepy.
Oh,
not that I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just let's leave it with what we've got and be happy with that. That's
how many
I
times do people say that was weird or that's weird in this movie? They say it a lot.
They may, yeah.
Because she says it like during that scene. I think that was weird.
Yeah.
So.
But it's one of those things where it's like, well, yeah, you're right. That was weird, and I'm glad we're on the same page with that.
But it's a good weird. It really is a good weird.
It's not bad. Until the 17-year-old girls get involved.
Yeah, that was
but actually
that was almost really dark. That was almost really dark. But no, so yeah, but again, so rom-com a little more. It's still you still know where people are supposed to wind up.
Yeah,
and Hollywood doesn't deviate from destinations. But in Google Maps, I guess they click the option that says avoid highways and toll roads. They get the alternate routes.
Well, and I mean, it starts off kind of as an anti-romantic comedy for people who are not sure that they like romantic comedies or not sure that they want to admit that they occasionally like romantic comedies. So they kind of lure you in with anti-romantic comedy, and then just kind of evolve into, well, I mean, actually, it's still pretty rocky at the end. Like there's no, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's got some really horrifically awkward situations.
Yes, it does. But they're also terrifically funny most of the time.
Yeah.
So Marry Me is a theatrical release.
Yeah.
This is Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon Prime.
Starting this Friday, the 11th. So you can watch it all weekend. So yes, you can stay home. That's your option.
Yeah.
If you don't want to go to the theaters and see Marry Me, you can stay home and watch I Want You Back. I liked it better than I liked Marry Me, but again, I didn't hate Marry Me, and I loved.
No, I
love the little girl.
There's more going on. I mean, they're trying to do different stuff with, but again, they're not that far off from the well-trod path. I mean, it's still, I guess maybe it's got a bad attitude about the fact that it's a romantic comedy,
right?
But it still kind of is just a romantic comedy with a bad attitude.
Right.
So, but I've always liked Jenny Slate. I don't necessarily. Charlie Day's all right, and he doesn't yell the entire film, so that's a benefit.
Right.
Not an instant classic, but definitely enjoyable.
Oh yeah. And Jenny Slate, like I said, I haven't seen a lot of. I mean, I saw her in Gifted, but she was supporting. She had that really the lab assistant in Venom. And I know she's done ton of stuff, but I couldn't pick it out. And she's the lead.
Yeah.
And she's good. I didn't realize how just terribly funny she could be. She's great with comedy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm now I'll have to go and dig into her filmography and see what I missed. But no, she's great. Like I said, yeah, Charlie Day is a little dialed back, which is nice.
Just a little though.
Just a little.
Just this one only goes to 12 rather than 15.
Right. Scott Eastwood is Jenny Slate's ex.
Mm-hmm.
And America or Gina Rodriguez. Sorry, Gina Rodriguez is Charlie Day's ex. So that's it's an interesting. There's a couple of interesting pairings to begin with, and then some interesting pairings by the end.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it comes at you from a lot of different places, you know. So it's probably it's more interesting to me than Marry Me. But you know, the size of Marry Me, the budget, the spectacle,
oh my God,
all that stuff. You know, I mean, it's so it's like it's not that Marry Me, because it's formulaic, doesn't make it easy to make.
No.
And actually the director who did Marry Me is going to be doing some of the She-Hulk episodes. So we'll see how that goes. But
see how that goes. I withhold comment. Because I withhold comment on that. So two options for Valentine's Day this weekend. Marry Me, big budget theaters, J-Lo. Amazon Prime, Stay at Home, Charlie Day, Jenny Slate, I Want You Back. Little different tone, but both romantic comedies. And I think Marry Me has more romance, and I Want You Back has more comedy. That's if they're going to skew in a direction. I think that's where they're going to go.
Sure.
There is one other romantic comedy that dropped this week, but Ryan hasn't watched it yet, and it's very low budget. It's very small. It's called Bite Me. And it's about a vampire. So a vampire and an IRS auditor. There you go. That's where I'll leave that one. But that is another option if you want to find that. So there's there's three rom-coms, two big ones, and then it's tiny. So next week, Uncharted comes out.
Yeah.
We will probably not talk about that before Friday. I guarantee we will not talk about that before Friday. So we will not have that up before some of you see it. It's just a fact of life, unfortunately. So because I will not be making the screening for that. Sadly. Or maybe not sadly. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll find out when we talk whether it's sad that I missed it or not. So so that's the big one next week. But this week is all about romance, because Valentine's Day, created by the greeting card companies. We all know that story. That's it. I don't think anything else next week. I think Uncharted has the turf to itself.
No, but we're edging closer to
that.
Yeah. So
we should be hearing about that soon, and then we will see how that goes. So until next week when we talk about Uncharted, and then probably the week after that when we talk about that. Stay safe out there. Be good. Have fun. Enjoy your holiday weekend. Be nice to your significant other if you're not every other day of the year like you should be. And we will talk to you all then. But until we do, I'm Mark. That is Ryan. Bye, Ryan.
See you guys.
We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.